Good morning, everyone. This is Amanda, the Emotional Strength Trainer. It is time for a morning stretches. Bit excited about this one. Had a massive aha, and I'm going to be sharing it with you so that we can all start to grow and be happy and fantastic together. So thank you for joining me. Say hello when you arrive and let me know how life is going for you. It's a very, very good day. Hello, Jerry. It's a very good day. Hello, Linny. Here in my part of the world, it's raining and they've had big rainfalls, like big rainfalls. So hopefully all of the dams are being filled and everything is going to plan for people here in Queensland that need the water. So I'm very excited about it. Hello, Brittany. Hi, Elaine. How are you? Nice to see you. So the big topic today, and I had this massive aha 2 or 3 days ago and just went into action stations. Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to find the link here so I can share it with you. So I was on LinkedIn. Anyone else on LinkedIn? So I was on LinkedIn and Mel Robbins had put a video up about failure, and I have done loads of work and, worked with people many times over here in my business, my practice, dealing with failure stuff. And she said this one statement: the fear of failure is intrinsically linked to feeling like you're failing. So it was just like this bolt from the blue around how that sat with me, and I know that's it. There's, it's the energy of the belief that creates the feeling like you're failing. So, failure, there's a lot of work to be done around failure, and I know there are a lot of mindset coaches that work with people, counselors, therapists, all those sorts of people that do that important level 2 of the anatomy of awareness work. And I know there are people who have spent thousands of dollars with mindset coaches to help them get over their fear of failing, to only have it be something that is always following them around. And then a friend of mine, Robin Rosenhaus, who's also an energy healer in the US, shared something from Oprah's podcast where she was talking to The Rock, and they both spoke about their 2 fears, which were based on lack, but it's also based on, if I fail, then how am I going to be able to pay my rent, all of those sorts of things. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about understanding this next exciting step that you can take in your life to help actually get all of that mindset coaching that you may have done, or that relationship with failure that you may have in your life. Because sometimes people use it as a power thrust. It's like, rightio, if I leave that fear of failure there as a bit of white noise for me, it'll get me spurred on to go and do stuff and to take action and be at one with my life and my business or whatever. But the problem with that is fear has a very low vibration. There is a good bit of fear that's the one that activates the brain to take action, to be able to jump out of the way of a car or, escape the saber-toothed tiger thing that we're all taught about so many times. But an actual vibration of fear running in as white noise as your foundation, and then linking it to failure, you're looking at kidney issues, blood pressure issues, all sorts of different health issues that will rob you of your ability to just actually take action. So I just want to quickly share this video. While I'm waiting for your replies, would you please let me know in comments, because that's the other thing, I will come back after the video is finished today and answer your questions or comments. Can you please share with me your relationship to failure? Like, is it so far removed from your life that there's no way it's impacting you, or is it sitting there all the time? So, you've got failure associated to, oh gosh, relationships, being successful in business. One of the things that in moment of vulnerability, when I started my business or went into this work 11 years ago, one of the key motivators for me was the fear of failure, because I didn't want to be caught up in the small business statistics that are rampant. Small business takes 6 months or 1 year, or so many people fail over so many different bits of time. All of those things, they were my driving force to beat the statistics. Okay, so I was sort of in a numbers game to start with. And then what was another one? Fear of failing in relationship. I had a very bad first marriage, and then sitting there from that point of view going on, that I was going to never ever find happiness, and every time a new relationship started, you come from that fear of is this going to fail too? And it's the same thing. So Linny's put here, fear of lack of money, failing when I'm at the head of a business. Yes, that's a really big one, because there's so many things that come into play with being at the head of a business. Feeling like fear of looking like a fraud. That's huge. Thank you for sharing those. That's a really big one. So when you look at those two, let's use those as an example. Thanks to Lyndall there. There are so many different facets associated to failing, and there you need to do definition work. And this is the stuff that mindset coaches will do with you. The ability, and so that's the other thing. It's like you may have done all of those things, and you know how to say to yourself, that's just silly. That's just, this isn't true. You have no evidence for that. You have blah, blah, blah. And so you can talk yourself out of it. And that's one of the things that, you're human doing things as part of your personal development, your self-development, all of those sorts of things. It's easy to operate with the fear of failure buzzing around you. But what I want to share is this idea that you don't have to have it keeping you safe, because that's actually what fears do, is they keep you safe. But all the while, and these are especially from a business point of view, all the while you're sitting there wanting to expand or wanting to grow or wanting to go into a new phase or doing all of these things, and then all of a sudden, but what if I get it wrong? And that's when your procrastination will come in, and then you'll get frustrated and angry at yourself because you just want to be able to, do your own thing. You want to be able to leap into stuff. So you have this neural pathway. You have genetic memory. I know one of my stories was I cannot fail at business because my parents did a couple of times. And then because I understand, see, this is how I'm operating from human as a person who's trying to be a leader in emotional health in the world. One of my biggest fears was that I had genetic memory or energy connections in my life because my parents had failed and we were related. So therefore, is my story going to be the same as theirs? So my fear of failure was it's just messed up. It's messed up. So it's one of these things where you absolutely want to get rid of the foundation. Elaine says, I'm afraid of not being good enough, a good enough teacher, even though I hear good things. It's very frustrating. That's a good example, which I'll talk to in a sec. Indira says, I have a fear of holding my own and confronting people who hurt me emotionally. That's also a very relevant and a good fear to bring out to the surface. So let's talk to Elaine's thing here about not being good enough, even though I hear good things. One of the things that a fear of failure will do in your life, which completely sucks balls, is that you will have evidence of random people come up and say nice things of you. And this also fits in with what Lyndall posted about fear of being a fraud, that these people will come up and say nice things and how grateful they are and you're really good at what you do and blah, 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 blah. And your fear of failure will sit there and go, yeah, nah, I don't believe you. And it's the same thing. Fear of failure is also intrinsically linked to being shit at receiving. So, because you're not looking at the evidence. And then even if you are someone who has coached with a mindset coach, and they sit there and you look and they get you to put the evidence. Where's your evidence of where this is a non-issue? And then you might mind map your life away and have all of these pictures. And then your fear of failure will come up and go, yeah, nah, don't do that. Don't look at that. It's all a lie, because failure is but 1 second away. It's really cruel, okay, and it's a major part given, okay, oh, I just had another big picture come into my mind that I'm going to talk to now. Oh my goodness. When the establishment is not playing very well, your governments, your, the banks, all of the people who play big parts in our life because they have a bigger say, because they're doing this, this, and this. So we're currently, and this is why I think this is such a topic for me now, and why it went boom when I heard the concept spoken about. A fear of failure is the energetic reason why you feel like you're failing, is because you're also powerless, okay? The fear of failure creates a sense of powerlessness that you keep diminishing and stepping back from your reality of what you want to do, because there's these bigger energies around of what if it went to shit. Then where, I had a lady pop a vein on my post the other day about the coronavirus and the damage to the economy. And it's one of those things where there is absolutely no point in going that route of fear, of failing, of having your business fail because there is a disease that's running rampant, in air quotes, around the world, that's stopping deliveries and tourism and all of those sorts of things. Yes, it's yuck and it escalates that fear of failure, but it's one of those things of there's nothing you can do about that, because you can't control the spread of a virus, which will escalate the what ifs. And that's another thing, that fear of failure. It's like the disease growing in a warm environment in a petri dish. It's going to start getting all bulby and moldy and all of that sort of stuff. So part of your process is to understand the fear of failure is stuck in your cells, the level 3 of anatomy of awareness, the trauma associated to what if, and then the society's view around making sure you're meeting standards, that you're not going to have people look at you and judge you, that you are going to have a harder time at life because you keep failing. One of the when I was looking for graphics to do these, all of the things is, one failure is closer to succeeding. And all of these platitude statements came up, and they're true. Failure is knowledge, failure is experience, failure becomes wisdom. And all of the big, the big 1% will always talk to you very openly and honestly about how good failure has been to them in their life. And there's part of me that sits there and goes, yeah, it's all right to be okay with failure when you're a billionaire. That's good. Enjoy that. I went to try and send a rocket off to Mars and it crashed and it cost a lot of money, but oh well. Where there's us mere mortals that are sitting there thinking, should I launch a program or should I put on an employee? What if I fail, and what if I've got to let them go? Or what if my bank account gets overdrawn? I failed. But in the bigger definition, have you really? Have you really failed? No, because what's your definition of failure? Is it embarrassment? Is it, fear? Remember from last year and all of the years before? Fear, at the very core of it, is something will be the death of you, aka to die. So if your bank account goes into overdrawn status, are you going to die in that moment? No. So it's part of your, I suppose is it the reticular activating system, your confirmation bias that goes along with your story of, yeah, I better not do that because I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be seen as a fraud. I don't want to be any of this. Even like in the weekly session that I do on Mondays, I spoke to everybody in the group this week about a human moment that I had when I heard this person speaking rudely to somebody else. And I in my human, went into judge mode thinking, you're not allowed to talk to people like that. Now, I didn't say anything, but I was sitting there listening, and I'm like, and I just immediately judged the person that was lashing out. And then my fear of failure kicked in a way that I was so hard on myself. You shouldn't be judging people like that. You don't know her story. You don't know why she's carrying on like a chop. Ugh. And then, you can't be a teacher of people teaching them how to live their life if you're going to judge people. It was just one of those moments of crucifying myself because I had a human moment. And this is what, your fear of failure will poke up in the most unlikely spots. And because you're so conditioned to live in it, you don't realize that you're talking yourself out of it. Your fear of failure will allow other people, this is also linked to people pleasing, will allow other people to be absolute assholes because you're making the energy about, well, I don't want my marriage to end, or I don't want to lose my job, or I don't, so asshole over here, and then your internal dialogue is my this, my that, my this. So your fear of failure will also let people behave badly around you, so your boundaries go out the window. There is a very easy and simple way to help yourself with this, and it's I launched these yesterday. I have released a new energy session. Now, for those of you who have had demankings with me, there are 3 options here. There are, I'm just going to pin that comment. There we go, unhide. Linda, my system here hid your comment with the word shit in it. But anyway, I've made it valid again. What I'm doing is a demanking version. So this is for people who know, like they're the ones that have done a lot of mindset work. They are the people that understand they have a fear of failure, and they just want the key direction of where to go. So a demanking will be the choice there. And it's a 20-minute session. I bring in your energy. It's just your energy in the space. It's just an audio recording. And I tell you what I can see, which is the core, because I asked, show me what's no longer in your highest and greatest good. and then I speak it, okay? So that's the demanking, 20 minutes of just show me where it is. Then the next level is an EST, an emotional strength training session that covers 8 areas of your body. And this is for people that know that their fear of failure is you're riddled with it, okay? But you've also done some work. So you want, this is the thing that I'm so excited about. Mindset coaches and therapists, counselors, people that specialize in failure, their work is important. It's so important. And it's very key in helping you lift your mindset. So the demanking is for people that have done that and they just need a tweak. The EST session, the level 2 session, is about kicking in, pulling all of your energy into alignment so that all of that money you've spent on mindset coaches will come back, because it's sitting in your body, but it just gets blocked because the emotional energy stuff is blocking the messages. Same thing when you go to the chiropractor, what they do is they align the body, they align your spine so the messages run through your spinal column and out through your nerves properly, and your brain gets to speak to everything. Well, at cellular level, what I'm going to give you is like an energetic chiropractic adjustment that pulls it all back into alignment in 8 different areas of your body. So you would choose level 2 if you know you're riddled with it and you want to be clear of it. And then there is the big guns, the 12 session package. If this has been robbing you of joy, of peace, of harmony for the longest time, and you know that this is one of the hardest things you have to shift, then jump on and get the 12 package, and we have to talk every week, half an hour to 60 minutes, and then you get an energy session every week for 12 weeks to help remove it. And we will be doing definition work, we will be doing timeline work, we will be doing genetic work, we will be looking at your fears, why is that there, what's happening, like getting to the guts of it. So I have put the link up. It is amandafoy.com.au/failure. Jump on and book your session. I have put it through my online bookings facility with Newtown Natural Health. So even though the first 2 options are audios, book in and choose a time, Australian Standard, Eastern Standard Time, because it'll just help me. I just feel like these things are going to go nuts, because I know how much failure robs people of everything, so many different things. And now that we're in this new phase, we cannot let failure dictate, or fear of failure dictate how we choose our life. We don't have time to muck around anymore. And we need, there's enough lack vibration everywhere to be carrying it around like bags of shit all over you, and you can smell it, but you can't pick it up, or you can't see it or chuck it. Just hand it over to me and let me do it, because I'm really good at this shit. And I want to be able to help you become good at receiving, whether it's a compliment, whether it's happiness, whether it's being present in any given moment, because that's what you deserve. Your sovereign right to exist as a human is to remain present in what it is. So please do enjoy jumping on and having a look at that. I look forward to helping and supporting you. The other thing to do is jump onto, if you haven't joined my Heads Up community, if you jump on there and want a book, there is a couple of special things as little presents for when you jump on that are no obligation, that will help you get present to be able to do this as well. Okay, all the prices are in Australian dollar, and the Australian dollar is shit at the moment, so do take advantage of that. I think it's about 67 US cents, which makes it 50 pence, maybe about 56 euro or cents in euro, is it? What is the other part of euro? So yeah, see how you go. Okay, thanks for joining, everybody. I look forward to seeing your name pop up in my inbox. I am ready, willing, and able to support you through this process. So let's get sorted and kick this failure shit to the curb. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.